and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a what's for dinner video for you. It's kind of a more frantic what's for dinner because it's Thursday and I'm not starting on a Monday like I normally would. But there's a few things I wanted to try this week, like I want to try out my Foodi. So I'm making a tender crisp or air crisp chicken in the Foodi with some roasted potatoes. I'm taking some of the leftover chicken and trying out this new soup mix that I bought tomorrow. So I have a few fun recipes that I just kind of want to test out and play with this weekend, and I figured I'd do a video. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First off, we have a chicken I cooked in the Ninja Foodi along with some roasted potatoes. If you want to see how I did this, then keep watching. Alright, so in an effort to reduce my voiceovers, I'm going to use my mic for this one. I'm going ahead today and I'm going to make this chicken. It's about a 4-pound chicken or so, and I'm going to make it in my new Foodi. Now I was torn because I've watched 2 different videos where they do it on all air crisp, which took her about an hour, and then I've seen some where they pressure cook, then air crisp. I've seen where they pressure cook 15 minutes, air crisp 15 minutes. I've seen them pressure cook 22 minutes, air crisp 8 minutes. I'm going to try that one because I want to make sure that my chicken is cooked. So I think 22 minutes pressure cooking, and then I can kind of watch the air crisp, because what's really cool is while it's air crisping, you just lift the lid and it pauses it. So if I feel like at 7 minutes or 8 minutes, I think it's done, I'll lift it up, take a look. If it's too burnt, then we'll move on. So show you what we need. It's very, very easy. So I oiled the inside of this little fryer basket that comes with your Foodi. I oiled the inside very lightly. I don't even know if that's necessary. And I am gonna rub the chicken over with some of this no salt seasoning and some pepper. And I'm just gonna rub it with a little bit of butter, probably more around the time when it comes time to crisp it up. And a little bit of lemon juice just in the bottom with some water, because you do want to put a little bit of water at the bottom when you're pressure cooking. Maybe like a 1/4 cup, half a cup of water. I don't know. So I'm gonna mix some of this because they say that the aromatics from whatever seasonings you put at the bottom while you're pressure cooking will help flavor your chicken. So I'm gonna open this up and get it in there and get it rubbed down, get it in the pressure cooker, and we'll get it going. So here we go. We're gonna do roast chicken in the Foodi tonight. And these guys are playing. What you got? You show me your baby. Can I show you your baby? You show me your baby? Oh, it's your baby. That's your baby. Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. One thing too, I just wanted to tell you guys is I'm going to be making some roasted potatoes in the Foodi after I do the roast chicken. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's get to the chicken. Well, he fits perfectly. Look at it. It's like, oh my god, it's so cute. All right, so I'm just gonna go over with pepper. I got the big hole opening. Let's not regret this decision. I like a lot of pepper on this. Now we are gonna eat some of this for supper tonight, but I'm primarily making it because, show you guys a little sneak peek of what's coming up on what's for dinner, is these soup bags that you can buy. And I got 3 of them at Christmas for myself, from Me to Me. So anyway, it's a Canadian company that makes these, so I'm gonna try the classic chicken and herb, and I needed some chicken, so. Do you hear that? My dog's also got toys for Christmas. It's great. I'm not going crazy on it, guys. I'm just kind of giving it a drizzle. Lemon juice, again. I'm not too upset. A lot of this is falling right through. All right, let's get it in here. All right, let's put our chicken in. So you'll see, okay, it just sits there. The water's in the bottom there. Can't really see, but anyway, I don't like that these legs are sticking out. I don't have twine, so we're just gonna have to live with it. But because you'll see, like, what I mean is when the lid closes, you see how close that gets? It's gonna touch and it might burn, but I think they're fine. All right, so we're gonna do pressure. We're gonna cook it on high for 22 minutes, because I've seen it on YouTube, so it must be true, right? So now it's got to build to pressure. So that's one thing I keep reading when I see this, is everyone's like, it's only 20 minutes to cook a chicken. Well, it usually takes anywhere from 10 to 15 to build it to pressure. So remember to include that when you're doing pressure cooking. Guys, it's still good. It's still fast. So we're gonna let that build, and then we'll check it out again in 22 minutes and I'll let you know how it's going. Now I am going to be doing roasted potatoes, but I want to peel these, so I'm just cutting off. Some of them are bad a little bit. Oh my God, paring knife, where have you been my whole life? This is amazing.
You go and can't without remorse, without heart. In your head, you're right, but in my head, you are the bad. I wanna show to the world that you're the bad one. You always being bad. They use all my love, use all my time, use all my heart.
I want to make sign of a nice roasted potato. Let's get rid of my scraps here. Some pepper on them. Stir this up in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that. Oh, excuse me for all the noise. I'm gonna do some garlic powder. Garlic, good amount, and onion. And I got this in my Costco haul. So, I like to just read in my hand, figure out. I'm not trying to be fancy. Just gonna use the knife that I already used. Peel it up, give it a good stir. Don't eat that, dog's gonna eat that. That's for you, Roxy. Ooh, guys, those smell freaking amazing already. Pardon my language. Vanessa, that's not bad language. Ooh. If you can see what I'm trying to, the disaster I'm attempting to avoid right now. Oh, I don't have paprika. How do I not have paprika? Who doesn't have paprika?
What's the matter with you?
Anyway, oh well. This is gonna be good. These alone, I think those are gonna be good, right? You should be very careful when you release the steam on this, or so I hear, because, so, I'm just gonna keep my hand over here. Let out a little bit. There you go. You need to do that. Anyway, ultimately, you can't open the lid till this little dot goes down. So, oh wait, it's gonna release pressure. When it's ready, we'll see what the chicken looks like. So, the one thing I will say is that this chicken, when I walked in the house, it smells like I've been roasting a chicken in my oven all day. It smells amazing in here. So I'm expecting it's going to taste good and it's going to look good. So right now we just did the pressure cooking, and then we're going to go ahead and tender crisp it or air crisp it or fry it for about 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. So let's take a look and see what it looks like. I don't want all the water to go on there. So it's very hot, and take this lid off, put it somewhere where you can put something warm because it's very hot. Ooh, it looks yummy. I mean, it looks cooked. Oh. Those are all like the little bits from the seasoning. Oh my gosh, you guys, it smells so good. But you see how the legs are trying to escape? So now what's gonna happen is they're gonna burn. You see how it kind of moved up? So the meat pulling away from the bone, just a heads up, lets you know that it's probably pretty cooked. I'd say this is good. If you wanted to just make yourself feel a little bit better, you can always insert this kind of into the meatier part here. Take a look. Going, 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 going. Oh yeah, we're good. Should be about 165. And look, it's almost like bang on, guys. That's amazing. 166. So, and we're gonna tender crisp it. So probably you could do less than the 22 minutes. Personally, I like the 22 minutes because I like the comfort of knowing it's cooked. I'm not questioning it. So now I know my staple will be 22 minutes. Let's air fry it. So everything we need is done. if you want to try and jam these legs in there, but I'm not really worried about if the legs burn. Nobody's eating that part anyway. So you're literally just going to close this. We're going to switch over to air crisp. We're going to turn it all the way up, and we're going to do 8 minutes. All right, and I just want to show you guys quickly how you can, it's still going, it's only got a little bit of time left, how you can lift the lid and it just turns off. Guys, this is awesome. This is like 30 minutes to like delicious roast chicken, plus like I said, the 10 minutes it took to build the pressure. But I mean, listen. And I want to show you too, this is the point you could use, there's like a, I think there's roast or sear and saute on here. So you could probably use all of these juices that are in here, I'll show you, to make a nice gravy or something. So yeah, and even if you didn't want to do it in here, you could take this and put it into a pot on the stove and make a gravy out of that. So I think I might do that. Except I need to use this. So yeah, we're gonna pour this into a pot, make some gravy, and get our potatoes in to start roasting. All right, so now I left some of the flavors and stuff that are in there from the chicken. I figure it's not a bad thing, it's not gonna hurt it. And I'm gonna go ahead and dump the potatoes that I want for roasting, get them spread out as much as I can. So I was torn whether or not to roast or tender crisp. I'm gonna go ahead straight up with a tender crisp. So the air fryer. That's why I bought it, right? No, stop. Alert. Okay, no, stop. So, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna leave it, I think we'll leave it at 390. Yeah. And I'm gonna do it for, it says 25 minutes in the book, but we're gonna do 20 and then maybe I'll do 15. And I'll give it a stir and then another 10. Here we go. Let's see how it's going to turn out. All right, so excuse the air fryer behind me, but I'm going to go ahead and season up a little bit more this chicken stock with some pepper. Okay. And just a little bit of salt because we didn't actually put too much salt in. And I'm actually going to use cornstarch to make this one. I usually use flour, but cornstarch is a little bit lighter, so we're going to go with that. Hang on one second. Alright, so I went ahead and mixed up a little bit of a slurry, a lot of a slurry. Basically, it's going to thicken up the broth from the chicken. That's basically what gravy is. It's not fancy, guys. Once it gets to a boil, I'm going to whisk it. And the trick for this is to slowly put it in so you don't get any lumps and whisk it. More with flour. And the idea of the slurry, I guess, is the same. If you were to put cornstarch or flour directly in without giving it a little bit of water first, you'd probably end up with a few lumps. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Telling you things you already know. I'm gonna add a lot more. The reason with the salt and pepper is you are adding all that cornstarch and flour, and it might seem like a lot of salt, but you need it. Just whisking it good. One, so it doesn't burn or stick to the bottom of the pot. Two, just to make sure everything's what it looks like inside. It's like paste. I'm gonna add a good chunk here. Very chickeny goodness. Here we go. Give it another whisk, starting to stick to the bottom. I can feel it. Just scrape it, not too much. You don't want anything burnt, but give it another look. There you go, guys. Look at how nice and thick looking it is, but not too thick. It's gonna be good on roasted potatoes, biscuit, gravy. Did Mama taste it? You don't need, oh, I'm stuck. You don't need to taste it. Mama needs to taste it. Too hot. Here, you're gonna get an honest opinion. Ready? Oh my gosh. A little heavy on the salt. And it's because I just put that bouillon in, but I'm going to eat it anyway. That's amazing gravy. Thank you, foodie. Here we go. Oh, they're pretty fork tender, guys. Wow. All right, I hear you. I actually have to try it because I can't tell. Oh my God, they're done. 14 minutes because I took them out early. Wow. Very good. They probably could have did 13 minutes. So those are done. Potatoes are done. Gravy, chicken. Let's put it all together. So I'm getting ready to plate this up and I have to show you guys. It is, I mean, it's insane how juicy this chicken is. You know, I don't know. We can't see it. It's probably gross. I'm picking at it, but it's just me and my family eating it, so whatever. But basically, you know, they say a lot of rotisserie chickens you get are pumped full of water. This is not. This is made at home. It's probably the juiciest chicken I've ever made. I've never roasted one that's come out this amazing. The skin, crispy. It's delicious, guys. Try it. Get yourself an air fryer, or at least a Foodi, because I can vouch for that one. It's amazing. Amazing. So here we go, guys. I'm like ridiculously happy about this meal. All in all, about 50 minutes for roast chicken, roast potatoes, start to finish, including the pressure build-up time. That's pepper in my nails, sorry. But it's amazing. Pickles, biscuits, not homemade, made. But really, like, you guys, I'm telling you, you need to go get one. I'm gonna go dig in and enjoy this meal. I'll stop showing you. I'm gonna go eat it. For Friday night, it's chicken noodle soup. If you want to see how I put it together, just keep watching. Okay, so these Mitchell's Soup Company mixes were 3 for $25 at Christmas time. I've got a fully loaded potato, a beef barley, and the classic chicken and herb. The back has the directions. Essentially, you just need to add your meat and vegetables and pour in the contents as per the directions on the back. So we're gonna go ahead and make the chicken soup, and let's go ahead and get started. Now everything you're gonna need for this mix is very basic. I had cooked a chicken in my Foodi yesterday, so I have that ready. I have some celery and some carrots that I already washed, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the gravy from my chicken and gravy last night, because it's just a trick from my mother, which was from her father, always add gravy to your soup. So I've already got some onions chopped up, and we're gonna go ahead and get our celery and carrots ready. Now before I chop up, I will say the first step that tells you to pinch the bag off at the noodles and set them aside. I'm assuming so that they don't become kind of annihilated, because this does have to cook for about 1 to 2 hours before you have to add the noodles. Now I went ahead and chopped up that chicken and threw it in with the onions, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my 10 cups of water. And it literally just fit. And now the directions tell you to empty the remainder of the package. So I guess essentially you're making your broth and your soup at this point. So while this is going on, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my celery and my carrots and then add them to the pot as well. Now it doesn't say what size to chop up your vegetables, but I prefer to have them kind of little pieces as opposed to big chunks of carrots. So I went ahead and did up kind of little cubes of carrots and the celery. You could probably do bigger pieces if you want. That's just a personal preference, I guess. Though if you're in a rush to eat, then I'm sure doing smaller pieces would make more sense. Now I'm just pouring all the celery and the carrots in. I probably should have did this before the liquid so that I didn't splash it up on myself, but I'm fine. We managed. What I'm going to do is let this simmer for about an hour, And then I'm gonna go ahead and add the macaroni, which you're gonna see here in a minute. I added that probably about 25 minutes before, and I will say that I ended up having to add another good 3 cups of water because I found a lot of liquid evaporated, and it ended up a little bit thick once I added the macaroni. But you'll see here, it looks amazing. It turned out delicious. It was very herby, a little bit earthy, not like your typical Campbell's chicken noodle soup, which I really loved. All right, you guys, check out Mitchell's Soup Company online. You can order within Canada for free shipping. You do have to order a minimum of $40. This is not sponsored. They don't even know I'm doing this, but it's amazing. I 100% recommend it. Check out this soup. Delicious. Served it with a tea biscuit and butter. Perfect on a cold winter's day. This was supper and lunch for Friday. All right, now for the last day this week, we went ahead with some easy cheese tortellini and garlic bread. So if you want to see how this goes together, just keep watching. Okay, so let's go over everything you're going to need. I just have some traditional Classico sweet basil marinara and this little jar of pesto in case anybody doesn't want a tomato-based sauce. Some of the kids like it, we'll see. I just have a block of cheese and I'm going to go ahead and grate onto this garlic bread. And you guys have seen this in my Costco haul before. It is my favorite bread. Here's the brand. I have it listed above. You get this for $3.99. You get so much of it, and it usually lasts me about a month or two, depending on how heavy we're going on the pasta for that month. But I highly recommend it. Garlic bread is set, and of course my 7 cheese tortellini from Olivieri. You get these 3 packs from Costco. I want to say they're around $12.99, and it's a pretty big pack, you guys. And they're full of cheese and they're delicious. Sometimes the little guy will even eat it with just a little bit of butter on it. It's a really great meal when you have a few fussy eaters, because a couple different sauces, some butter, and you're set. So let's go ahead and put this together. So first up, I'm going to go ahead and boil some water for the tortellini, and I'm going to go ahead and salt the water for the pasta before I add the pasta. And next up, this part's really hard, guys. Empty the jar into a saucepan and heat it up. I usually heat it up on low heat just so it's kind of simmering really low so anybody can serve it up whenever they want. And here's a real life moment for you guys. My daughter did not want this tonight, so I'm cooking her up some Mr. Noodles. Seriously, that is a gourmet meal in this house. And these guys are interested too. I just love them. I always like to film them. So back to the main course, I'm going to go ahead and set the tortellini to the side, wait for the water to boil, and I'm going to grate up some of this cheese to go ahead and throw on our garlic bread. And honestly, guys, if you go back through most of my What's for Dinner videos, not that there's a ton of them, you will see these two, or at least the one of them, lingering in the background, hoping for scraps. And you'll see in a minute, they do get them. And don't worry, I wash my hands. Yay, all their patience paid off. And I did, like I said, I washed my hands, don't panic. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the tortellini to the water. It's always a messy process when I do this. I end up with water and tortellini everywhere, but it's fine. We will get over it. However, I wanna say, it usually takes a minute for it to come back to a boil. It barely boils and it's cooked. This stuff is cooked in like 3 to 5 minutes. And if you cook it too long, it will explode and kind of rip a little bit and it becomes kind of pasty. It's not very good. Go ahead and add a little bit of olive oil. That's what I just did to make sure it doesn't stick together. But all in all, guys, by the time this started to boil again, it was already cooked. Just lift it up, kind of feel it with your fingers. If it feels soft and doesn't feel rough, your tortellini is ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and plate it up. Like I said, I just had the sauce heating on the back burner, very low heat. I went ahead and opened up a can of these Green Giant cut wax beans. I don't heat them up. I like them room temperature. And our garlic bread was ready, crispy and cheesy. And guys, this was our supper for Sunday, the end of the week. It was delicious. everybody kind of ate as they wanted to. This was my plate, and obviously you know that, or there wouldn't be pickles on it. And I added some Parmesan cheese. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you stick around, subscribe, and I hope you check out to see what I have next weekend on my What's for Dinner. Have a great one.